So is there anything like you guys have been either watching or listening to lately that you'd want to like what's kind of been your vibes going on?
I've been listening to Zombified Preachers of fucking Gore.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
That got released, what was it, 2 days ago or yesterday?
Yeah. That's what I've been listening to. Yeah, I'll take another beer.
I just cracked one actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been listening to that too actually. Just because I've been kind of helping out with that release a little bit. Long story short, but that's something that I've been trying to get done for almost a decade because my senior studio teacher in college was in that band, and I think it's kind of common knowledge now. I think there was a time he didn't want this known, but he used to be the head designer for like Little Caesars and the Red Wings, so I think he wanted to keep some of his death metal past a little bit buried in the corporate world. But yeah, now I think he's kind of come full circle, and after like almost 10 years of me bugging him to kind of come off the Zombified Preachers of Gore vault and, you know, re-embrace all those dudes, you know, past from their teenage years, he finally was like, all right, I finally got him to do it. So it's a great release. They really, you know, pulled out all the stops, pulled out a lot of rare photos and stuff never before seen. They remastered all the tracks from the original analog master tapes, and it sounds really good. The God's Vomit demo fucking sounds amazing. I can't believe how good it sounds. Yeah, it's
Came out fucking sick.
yeah, it's really cool. I mean, pretty mysterious Michigan band.
Royal Oak,
Yeah.
Michigan. You know, the shit that I was like growing up seeing in Royal Oak was like Davies production type of shit. Shout out John Davies. But yeah, like
Beaver Shoot.
yeah,
and,
Beaver
like,
Shoot and
bad white guy rap, Kid
Yeah.
Rock wannabe bullshit.
and that's the stuff that would like I knew of Royal Oak, and I was a fan of some of his projects. You know, for what they were, you know, good for back in the day. But like, you know, you're not used to seeing that shit. I grew up in fucking Madison Heights, so kind of like right next door to Royal Oak. Royal Oak was always the snazzy, like, nice,
Fucking like uppity city for the most part.
yeah, and that's what we looked at it as. So being from Madison Heights, it was always that. So seeing a release when I was like fucking 20 or whenever the fuck I discovered that shit, and seeing Royal Oak, Michigan, blew my fucking mind apart. I was just like, holy shit, like, this is fucking...
Dude, didn't those guys have, I think I read recently, or somebody posted it recently when all this was getting, like, buzzed up, they had a hand with the whole Michigan Death Fest, didn't they?
Yeah.
Think about that name. Tim pointed this out the other day. That's how influential this thing. What other fucking fest has Death Fest in the fucking name?
Yeah.
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 Maryland.
Like,
looking at you.
come on. Yeah. Like, very influential fucking shit
Was
right
Michigan
there,
like
Michigan.
the first one that had that?
I never knew about a Death Fest before that.
They
Show
were,
me a
as
Death
far
Fest.
as I know, they're the Death Fest. The Milwaukee Metal Fest predates the Michigan Death Fest by a few years, but that was they were more focused on like general overall metal and kind of still in a bit of a power metal-y, like traditional metal.
And you look at the flyer
phase
for
at
Michigan
that
Death
time.
Fest.
Michigan
and it's
Death
like,
Fest is the first to use
What?
the Death Fest moniker and actually have a all
Crazy.
death metal
To
lineup.
be at
Yeah.
that show, like looking at those old Death Fest flyers, to be at that show, and I was like probably like 5.
We loved it so much we used a sample of it for Fiends of Old,
And I
like
love
from
it.
that
I
fucking
fucking love it,
video.
dude.
Like
I
that's
love that sample.
yeah, like
I don't want to go there. I want these guys to go there.
These guys go there.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We got a good event going on this weekend. We got a lot of Christian bands.
We love music ourselves. In fact, we got a great thing going next weekend with a lot of Christian bands. It's the lyrics in the songs. I'm on the highway to hell. I mean, come on. I don't want to go there.
I remember Black Metal Alan telling me he rode his bike to Michigan Death Fest. This is a dude, you guys don't know the folklore of Black Metal Alan, but he does.
Sounds like a cool
I bet
dude.
you, yeah. If he would lived back then and rode his bike there, he was probably wearing a
was
flannel
from, like,
and gray
down-
sweatpants.
From downriver,
Fucking-
rode his bike to Flint.
yeah.
Heat Index Day. I'm 17. He's 28, and he just decided to hang out with me. And he would just in his leather had like 10 CDs of just this obscure black metal and death metal stuff. Anyway, dude,
Drinking Killian's Irish
wearing a
Red.
leather on a Heat Index Day.
That's what all the old
And he would
dudes
get
used to
into
be
character,
like.
dude,
Yeah.
He would get into character in my bedroom. I'm all scared of this guy. But
I remember you telling me like he fucking showed up like jacket full of CDs and Killian's, and the next morning he's like puking off your front porch, and your dad's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah, dude. Black Metal Alan, he turned me on to I heard Exhumed for the first time in 98, like when Gore Metal first came out. I was 17. He was like, they're 28. He's like, yeah, check these guys out. I didn't like any of the black metal he showed me. It scared the fuck out of me because he'd get really into it. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like fucking sick death metal shit, right? Anyway, so
Michigan's got the fucking first realist
Everything.
U.S. black metal scene, man. Masochist, and Wind of the Black Mountains, Lucifer's Hammer, Summon, all those bands.
One of the first
around that
grindcore
scene.
bands, Repulsion.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
yeah, and not to like keep
Yeah.
dipping into this, but you guys are keeping like the folklore of Michigan and Detroit and just this state, like the stories on the new record. I'm biased to you guys because like you guys are like
Well,
the Nain
why
Rouge
wouldn't
and,
you?
like,
Why
I'll
wouldn't-
give you
Yeah.
anything, dude. Give me pretty much anything, and I'll tell you when and where and why Michigan did it first.
Yeah.
Like from the fucking
Everything.
MC5 to the Stooges, creating fucking punk rock, to George Clinton and fucking Parliament and fucking funk. Like whatever you like.
Going
man,
back to
happens in
fucking
Detroit.
pop music,
Yep.
house music.
Yeah,
Like,
techno, Richie
what the
Hawtin,
fuck?
Plastic
Like,
Man.
yeah, like everything.
It's
when
kind of
you-
mind blowing when
Rock
you
and
Motown.
roll, dude.
When you really
Alice
dig into
Cooper,
it.
Bob
my
Seger,
God,
Grand Funk. I mean, like the
It's
list
crazy.
goes on.
It's crazy when you dig into how
Bob the
much
Hoople.
Detroit was like with all these different fucking scenes spread out through fucking decades.
Yeah.
That Detroit was kind of had the ground level of this shit that
And think about it.
Certainly.
spread through.
Yeah.
And think about it on every level of genres too. Like, it wasn't only rock; it was rap in the '90s and horrorcore and wicked shit in the '90s. Like,
Yeah.
we've always,
Isham,
Isham,
ICP.
baby.
we've always
Eminem
fucking,
even
Eminem,
was
Kid
early
Rock,
on in
like
that
fucking, like,
horrorcore genre.
come on, like,
Isham, dude.
you just don't get.
Still. Yeah.
It's that weird Midwest shit that a bunch of shits you don't get credit. It goes to a bigger city like
Yep.
Chicago
Goes to New
and
York
fucking
to become artsy and become, popular, and then by the time it gets to LA, it becomes
Diluted.
commercialized
Yeah,
and fucking
yeah.
killed. But it starts in Detroit. It starts in Detroit or Cleveland, the Midwest.
Yep.
The Dead Boys and fucking punk rock, even, punk rock here, hardcore, Negative Approach, and Misfits always. No one liked the fucking Misfits except Detroit. And Misfits were a fucking joke when they actually
Misfits
were around
weren't playing
as a
arenas
band.
with giant pumpkins.
Yeah, Detroit was
They
the
weren't
only
doing
city
that.
that fucking got it and embraced that band. Everyone
every
else thought they were
Halloween, yeah.
goofy.
Yeah, and they were again going back to Alice Cooper and Kiss.
Yeah, that's because
and the
people in
wicked
Detroit
shit,
love that shit. They
It's
love the fucking
showmanship of
How
a
many
fucking
shows was-
theatrical rock.
How
Yeah.
many shows was it? The fucking basically Misfits and Necros and Misfits Necros
Yeah.
Negative Approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean if you watch that Why Be Something That You're Not Misfits footage, they ask Glenn, they say, what's the best fucking city to play? And he says Detroit. Midwest.
yeah.
And that's no bullshit. They that was it. They knew it, and that's where a lot of the good fucking hardcore bands were from.
I mean, even talking about like Detroit Hardcore, talking about Negative Approach, I still really don't feel they get the recognition that they deserve. for
Nobody from the
being
Midwest
80s
gets
hardcore.
Yeah, nobody like. It's weird how you like Dave Grave with the fucking blast beat.
I gotta say something about Negative Approach real quick, and the thing that everybody misses is that band in '84. You listen to their last recordings, like Genocide and Tunnel Vision from '84.
Mm-hmm.
John Brannon's not even singing lyrics anymore. He's just going. "Ah, ah, ah."
Yeah.
It's proto fucking grindcore. It's like up there with Siege.
Yeah.
And like it's the band is playing a style of something different. It's not fucking hardcore anymore.
Yeah.
His vocals are like proto-grind. Like that band was going in a fucking way intense direction that fortunately nobody really knows that because those recordings, they broke up and kind of got buried. But if you listen to all the stuff they've re-released now and you can hear all those demos, like those 84 demos are really fucking next level extreme.
Yeah.
Before Napalm Death doing fucking vocals
and when
shit.
you think about shit like, again, we need to go to the tape trading days of demos and shit. Think about, like, I think about this shit all the time. Like, where the fuck did that Repulsion demo go? It was definitely circulated, like, massively when you think about it, to every fucking country. Like, how far did that go, and who was actually influenced by that shit? You know what I mean?
That band that you turned me onto, was it Pain?
Yeah,
South
dude, that
American?
Pain demo. Shout out fucking Pain. The Plains, Illinois. I think, like, the Plains is like a Royal Oak in Michigan or something, but yeah, totally brutal, crusty, sounding punky.
My God.
Dude. Yeah, for sure.
Good pull. I jammed that for about a week.
Yeah, I still jam it all the time.
There's something about the Midwest death metal scene, you know, bands like Master and Cyanide and Impetigo and Nunslaughter and Necrophagia and Repulsion and Zombified. They have this certain
weird fucking
Midwest sound
feel to it.
that
It's a different feel.
Yeah. If the Florida bands have their sound and based on more sound, like the Midwest bands kind of have their sound, and a lot of it's defined by that kind of like mid-tempo, almost, kind of start and stop sound. Not everything's like super fucking fast.
And everything's a bit less produced than Morrisound. You listen to Morrisound records, and obviously this fucking, great sounding shit, but you listen to Zombified, and it's fucking, that's the shit we like. Like, that's the fucking nastier side of fucking things. And yeah, I don't know. Midwest fucking rules. To this day, I still try to throw it in everywhere. Like, even with my solo shit, I'll put weird little fucking Midwest things in there and fucking, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.